Hello, students. A very good morning to all of you. Students, we are here to discuss with you the lesson of which task named The Third Level, okay, by Jack Finney. So, students, we have discussed about this lesson that this story teaches about, the third level, which is by its name, familiar with its name. Third level, it represents a story, okay, representing the future travel, time travel in past, okay. So, you know a man who went into that through time travel. He went to through a station, okay. He went to imaginary past a few years before, and when he came back, he told everyone about his story. In fact, he also told his story to his wife and his doctor, his friends, his friend doctor who was a psychiatrist. He also told. None of them believed on his story, or on his journey, time travel, okay. So this way, he began telling everything, and later the man was telling how he went into the past, okay. So the process he was describing here. So let me tell you how he went over there, okay. So students, in last lecture we have studied up to there, so today we have to start from here, okay. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downward, okay. The corridor I was in began, okay. The narrator said that the corridor of the railway station from where he began, okay, angling left means he just turned left, began turning left, slanting downward, okay. And also it began slanting, a little turning downward, sloping downward, and I thought that was wrong, and he thought that the way in which he was following, okay, was a wrong road, okay. So but I kept on walking, while knowing or suspecting that he was not on the right way. He walked on that route. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, okay. As there was no sound behind followed him, he was listening only the sound of his own shoes, okay, of his own footsteps. And I didn't pass a soul, and he found that no one passed through him, okay, in his long walk to that corridor, okay. So then I heard that sort of hollow roar ahead, okay. Then he heard sort of hollow, or sounds, hollow roar ahead. That means open space, okay. He heard some sort of noises, okay, which meant that there was the end of that long corridor, means some sounds were coming out, or hollow roars ahead. That means open space, okay. That means an open space is about to come, and people talking. And he also heard the sound of the people talking. The tunnel turned sharp left. After that, the tunnel in which he was going, it turned sharp left, means the tunnel, it sharply turned left, okay. So this way, left, I went down a short flight of stairs, okay. Then narrator said that he went down a sort of uh, there was a flight stairs. He went through that, of stairs, and came out on the third level of Grand Central Station, Okay, and with following that, flight of stairs, he he came to the third level of the Grand Central Railway Station. Third level, it means, the site of the time travel where he imagined what he imagined. Okay, so he reached over there. For just a moment I thought I was back to the second level. For just a moment he thought that he reached to the second level. It means the second platform, where he just watching all these, he expected so. Okay, so uh, but I saw the room was smaller. Okay, but he saw, the room was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows, and he also saw the ticket windows, number of ticket windows were also fewer. Okay, means less number of ticket windows, and train gates, and also there was less number of train gates or entry and exit points. And the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. And also the information center at the railway station, it also looked as wood, means made of wood, or made of wood and old looking. Okay, so the furnitures and the things all seemed old looking. Okay, and the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and a long black sleeve protector. Okay, and the man who was sitting at the booth on the ticket counter, okay, so he wore a, green colored okay, so wore a green eye shade. Eye shade means goggle. He wore a green goggle and a long black sleeve protector, and he also wore a long sleeved, pant or a protector. Okay, and uh, after that the lights were dim and short of flickering. Okay, the lights were dim and short of flickering, means the lights over there, it seems like very dim. Okay, very low lighted area, and also frequently flickering. Okay, are fluctuating. Then I saw why. Okay, then he saw why he just looking all these. Okay, they were open flame gas lights. Okay, and further he saw, that uh, the lights, those were flickering over there. Okay, they were nothing but the gas lights. Okay, low lighted gas lights, low flame gas lights, those were, lighting and flickering up over there. Okay. Okay, so after it, there were brass spittoons. Okay, brass spittoons means, spittoons are the place where we generally spit. Okay, or a dustbin made up of brass. Okay, on the floor of the station, and across the station, a glint of light caught my eye. And after that, across the station, on the other side of the station, his eyes caught by a spark of light. Okay, a man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. A man, he saw, a man was just taking out a gold, watch. Okay, pulling out a gold watch from his vest pocket. Okay, means just, taking out a golden watch from his pocket. He snapped open the cover. After it, he snapped open the lid or the cover of the, infrequent, hastily he opened the cover of the, glanced at his watch in front. He opened the cover of that watch, glanced at his watch. He looked at the watch and frowned. And after just looking at the clock, okay, he just stretches his eyebrows as if he was angry. Okay, so he wore a derby hat, a black four button suit with tiny lapels, and he had a black four button suit with tiny lapels, and he had a big black handlebar mustache. Okay, so the man, whom he saw just putting out his golden clock from his pocket. Okay, so he was wearing a derby hat, a long hat, and small lapel, four buttons, which lapel buttons, it's a kind of buttons, on his coat. He wore on his coat four buttons, lapels button on his coat, and further, and he had a big black handlebar mustache, and he had also, a big black colors handlebar type mustaches or mustache. Okay, means handlebar type, like you have seen, handlebars. So like that, he had the mustache. Okay, so then I looked around and saw everyone. After that, he looked around and saw everyone out there in the station was dressed like 1890 something. Okay, and the people after that is watching everywhere. He saw the garments the people's put on dresses like, like often people used to wear during the time of, 1890. Okay, he saw the costume designs of that time, suspected as if it was in 1890. I never saw so many beards, sideburn, and fancy mustache in my life. Okay, as he was living in 21st century, so he said, as he did not see anyone. Okay, he did not see anyone with you know many beards, means having beards, sideburns, okay, and fancy mustache on in my life. So the you know having having a thick beard, okay, and hairs near the ear, and also fancy mustache. He never had seen all these in his life. Okay, a woman walked, uh, walked in through the train gate. Okay, he also saw a woman, she walked through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeves and skirts to the top of her high button shoes. Okay, further, he also saw a woman, who wore a small dress. Okay, and high heeled, boots. Okay, over a skirt. Okay, over a skirt and top she wore. Okay, back of that, lady, out on the tracks on the way, I caught a glimpse of locomotive. He also saw, okay, he also glimpsed at the locomotives or the railway engines. Okay, a very small courier and Ives locomotive with a funnel shaped stack. Okay, further he saw, uh, he saw the track, which means the railway track, and he also saw a locomotive, a train engine. Okay, and a very small courier. Okay, and Ibis engine. Okay, courier and Ibis engine, locomotive with a funnel shaped stack, and the design of the engine was funnel shape, a pipe shape. Okay, stack, and when, it seems like a pipe shape stack. Okay, so this way, it seems like, the train engine, it seems like uh, funnel shaped stack. It's a pillar, and then I knew, and then he knew, to make sure. Okay, then he knew that it was nothing going good, something went wrong. Okay, to make sure himself, I walked over to a newsboy, and then, he went to a newsboy over there, just to confirm himself his doubt. He went uh, to a, newspaper boy, and glanced at the stack of the papers at his feet, And then, for his assurance, he saw the newspaper. Okay, he saw a sheet of a newspaper at his feet, okay, which lie on the ground at his feet. It was the word, and the word hasn't been published for years. Okay, the newspaper was named as the word, and the word newspaper hasn't been published for many years. Okay, so uh, the lead story said something about President Cleveland, and also the lead story, the front page, the story on the front page says about the president of USA, the Cleveland. I have found that front page since in the public library files, and he at once suspected that he saw that page on the public that page somewhere in the public library files, and it was printed June 11, 1894, and on the page it was printed the date June 11, 1894. So this is what the explanation for today, students. Thereafter we would meet soon. Thank you everyone. Enjoy yourself.